Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Dr Amira from Fayza Arabic Centre, and we are here starting our new group of lessons that is talking about the Quranic language, Quranic Arabic, and specifically the grammar. And of course, some of the vocabulary will be dealt with as well. This book is the book that we're going to go through lesson by lesson, inshallah, with some other material that are going to be like extra material provided in every lesson by lesson. The name of the book is Quranic Language Made Easy. It's one of the really good books. There are, mashallah, lots of good books that work on the language of the Quran. So this is one of the good ones that we're going to do بإذن الله. As you can see, explaining the topic of the book, it's basic grammar required to understand the Quran, to understand it in Arabic, of course, and is Hafiza Hassan is the author. May Allah reward all the wonderful scholars that make such beneficial books, Ya Rab. Starting with the first one, and the book is by the way available online, but anybody can get in touch with me if you like to find it, to be sent to you as a PDF, or if you are enrolled in one of my classes, either in person or online, definitely this material and more are going to be provided to you, inshallah. The first lesson that we're going to talk about here is words, to be introduced to the nature of words. What does it mean? Or what are the types of words in Arabic? The word words in Arabic is الكلمات, and there are three types of words, or ثلاثة أنواع من الكلمات in the Arabic language, which are اسم, and this means noun, فعل, and this means verb, and حرف, and this one is usually translated into particle. A preposition is only one type of حرف in Arabic, so it is more, or it can be more translated into particles rather than anything else. If we go through one by one, of course, we're not going to cover all of them today. Just we're going to focus a little bit on the ism, but just to say a couple of things about every one of them. And this is going to, I'm going to have more material to explore about this. But to start with, al-ism is simply any word that refers to a person, a thing, a place, and more. We're going to see the types of nouns, but the idea is it's a word that has a meaning on its own, and it refers to one of these type. What about the verb? Verb has to be a word that refers to action being made, plus a tense. If I have the action on its own without a tense, this word is an ism. It's a fa'al. It's a noun. But for the word to be a verb, that is fa'al, it has to have these two components, action and tense. Action means what's happening. Tense means a reference to the time in which this action is taking place, or will take place, or have been taking place. And of course, we're going to know more in detail about فعل later on. So we will focus on each one of these one by one. So that is ism. Ism is a word that refers to something, has a meaning on its own, and it can, this thing that it refers to, it could be a person, it could be a thing, a place, an action, something like that. While فعل, that is verb, is a word that includes action and tense. Like, what about حرف? And حرف, we said the best way to translate it is particle. Please remember that prepositions is only one type of particle. We have different types of particles in Arabic. طيب what is the meaning of حرف? حرف is a word that doesn't have a real real meaning on its own. It usually is used in the middle of a word, middle of a sentence to form a meaning, or to help other words to form a meaning. So on their own, it doesn't mean much, or they do not mean much. They need to be inside a sentence to make sense. طيب, moving on to have a look at the details of this part of the book before having a look at another material. So اسم here as being again explained. اسم, which is a noun, it is a name of an object, a place, a person, or an action. But please remember, it's an action here without a tense, like كتاب أو كتاب, which is a book. قيام, standing. هو, that is هو is he. محمد, which is a proper name, Muhammad. طيب, what about the فعل? فعل is means a verb. It tells about an act with reference to past, present, or future tense. And this is what I was telling you about. An act plus a tense. These two words, or these two meanings in a word, would make a verb, a فعل. So فعل, he did. فعل, that is somebody has done something, and we have the tense as well, which is the past here. يفعل, that is he does or he will do, and this again we have the action and we have a reference to the tense. Finally, حرف, which, as we have said, it is translated into particle, and it is a word that can be used with a noun or a verb. Can be used with a noun or a verb to form a meaning, to help to add to the meaning, but in its own, it doesn't refer to anything. So in, that is if, إذا, when, في, in, من, who. None of these words to refer to something, to like a meaning, a clear meaning. If we move on to a different thing here, and focus a little bit on اسم, and have a look at what about the different types of an اسم. So as at this page is telling us everything that we have seen in the previous source in the book itself. So we have اسم, noun, that is فعل, verb, and حرف, that is particle. And we have here examples to اسم, and here فعل is فعل ماضي, that is the past tense, the present tense, and the command فعل الأمر. And we will know later why the future hasn't been added here. And حرف, we have different, that is particle, we have different types. We have prepositions, that is حرف جر, like في, على, إلى. We have conjunction, like حروف العطف, which like و, أو ثم, أو فا. We have negation, like حرف نفي, like لا. We have calling particles, حرف نداء, like يا, etc. This is only examples. They do not, of this part does not represent all kinds of particles, or all examples, or all words for a preposition, for example. So we will go through حرف in detail later on. I just want to focus here on اسم, noun. طيب, what are the types of noun or ism in Arabic? And it would be much better to focus on the meaning, the word in Arabic, because the meaning of the word noun is a little bit different. Yani noun is different from adjective in English, but in Arabic, noun, the word ism, yani, is like a big umbrella under which lots of other things is included, as you can see. So ism can be what? Can be insan, that is a human being, can be referring to an animal, حيوان. It can also remain to a solid, a non-human, non-living thing, that is جماد. It can be referring to نبات, that is plant. It also can be referring to a place, that is مكان, or time, that is زمان. It can also refer to, or it can also be an adjective, that is صفة, or a pronoun, ضمير, whichever the type of ضمير is, because we have different types of ضمائر. It can also be a demonstrative, that is اسم إشارة, and it can be اسم موصول, relative pronoun, and more. This is not everything. It can be an adverb, حال. So as you can see, we have to be very flexible when we think about the meaning of the word ism in Arabic, because it can include all that. So for example, a common mistake that some of the students would do is to treat the adjective in Arabic, that is صفة, as it's different. I mean something else. It's not an ism, but it is actually an ism. Type. Why is it important for us to know that all these are types that are included under the big umbrella of ism? It is simply because this will mean, if I know the basic rules of ism, this means that most probably I will be sure or certain that they can be applied to all these types of words. Like, for example, these are very important aspects of an ism. To make it clear, the things that we're going to have a look at now are some of the things that very likely I can find in ism, in a noun in Arabic. But I might have an ism in Arabic that does not include any of these ones. So it depends on the meaning and the context and the sentence, but having in mind all these aspects that I'm going to explain to you now will help me a lot to start recognizing some words to be ism. This will help me build my knowledge about the Arabic structure, and will help me later on to be able to decode the sentence or the ayah in the Quran and understand it better. Like, what are the features, the aspects, the main aspects of an ism? So how can we recognize a noun? And please remember that not necessarily a noun will include any of these, but it's a very high, very, very likely. Type 1. Only an ism ends with tanween. So what we mean to say here by those aspects that you wouldn't find them in a fi'l or a particle. So if you find any of these in a word, this means it's definitely a noun. So again, it can have tanween, and tanween only happens at the end of a word. So as like this one, and let me make it a little bit bigger here. Like this is tanween, tanween fatha, tanween dhamma, tanween kasra. I assume that you know the tanween because you have already finished the level 1, which introduces you to all the harakat, including the tanween and stuff like that. And we will see some examples now from the Quran. So only an ism would end with tanween. We have only maybe a very, very limited exceptions in the Quran, but this is going to be mentioned later on. But generally, tanween comes at the end of indefinite nouns. Okay? Type 2. It can have al. Only an ism would start with al at the beginning, and al only occurs at the beginning of a word. It means the. And it's the one way of making a word definite, by the way. It's not the only way. So again, it's a sign that is a golden rule. Here, when I say golden rule, it means no exceptions. So it's a golden rule that any word that starts with al is definitely a definite noun. Type 3. It can have a calling particle, which is we call it حرف نداء. before it. I mean, according particle only occurs before an ism, and this is, I mean, it wouldn't be anywhere else other than before the word, and this word has to be an ism. So yeah, Muhammad. So definitely, if I have a word preceded by yeah, this means that this word an ism is an ism. Type number 4. It can have a preposition, حرف جر, before it. So again, حرف جر or a preposition would occur only before the word, and it means that this word is an ism, like في البيت, in the house. So again, and as you can see, في البيت, for example, does have 2 aspects, which is the first is that it is preceded by preposition, and the other one is that it starts with alif lam. طيب, what else? Also, it can show position, that is مضاف إليه. And مضاف إليه is a very important structure that we're going to go through in detail later on, inshallah. طيب, what does this mean? It means that only in the addition structure or the إضافة structure, only nouns can be added to each other. So بيت محمد, بيت الولد, only this structure wouldn't include anything other than nouns. Both were, it can, by the way, the إضافة structure can be composed of more than 2 words, but all the words involved in this structure should be nouns. They're not going to be particles, they are not going to be verbs. And we have a tip here that is in Arabic, position is expressed in most cases by a noun without al. So the first word, of course, of the إضافة structure can never have al. And please don't worry about this structure. We will go through, we'll go back to it and work on it in detail, all its rules, because it's a super important structure in Arabic. So let us ignore for now what is being said again here about the إضافة structure, because it needs to be dealt with in detail. Type number 6 here, that it can have تاء مربوطة. Only a word that is a noun can end with تاء مربوطة, and تاء مربوطة is one of the big let us say marks or signs that this word is a noun, a feminine word. But it's like, let us say 90% of the words that end in ta' marbuta is going to be or are going to be feminine. What about the 1%? We have a very limited number of proper nouns that are referring to men that ends with ta' marbuta, like the word Hamza, for example. أسماء, يعني they are names of men, like Hamza, like Khalifa, like Usama, like Talha, like Muawiyah. All these are men names ending in ta' marbuta, so they are not feminine words, they are masculine names or words. Another possibility that can of words that might end in ta' marbuta but are not referring to singular feminine are very limited number of broken plural, like, for example, أساتذة, like طلبة. So this is another possibility of a very limited number of words that end in ta' marbuta, but they are not singular feminine words. The rest, any other than these 2 categories, any word that ends in ta' marbuta is definitely a singular feminine word. And again, don't worry, we're going to go through this in detail later on in another lesson. The last point here that we need to look at before moving to have a quick look at some examples in the Quran is that we can give information khabar about it, that is al-bint. We know that it's definitely, this word is an adjective, a noun, because we have something khabar, a predicate to tell about it. This is called, by the way, a nominal sentence. And again, this is one of the things that we need more explanation in future lessons, inshallah. طيب, let us now apply this to some of the surahs here. Now, this is Surah An-Nas. I believe maybe everybody knows the surah, or you are familiar one way or the other with the surah. So let us have a quick look at the words here in the surah without talking or mentioning anything that has to do with the meaning. Now, we're trying to find our way in recognizing the words. Are they nouns or something else? And with regard to after going through the basic signs of nouns, are we capable of recognizing the type of the word without knowing even its meaning? Okay, let's see. طيب, the first one here, surah, it ends with ta marbuta. It is a noun. طيب, الناس, it starts with alif lam. It is a noun. All that is correct. طيب, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. All these words are Allah, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. All of them starts with alif lam. All of them are nouns. طيب, starting the ayah, the first ayah, قل أعوذ برب الناس. We have said already that the nas is a noun. ملك الناس, again. إله الناس, yes. By the way, the other words, for here, bi Rabbi, the ba here, this one is a preposition. So it is a noun. Malik is a noun, but it doesn't have any of what we have just said. And this is what I was telling you. I said that those signs, it's a high probability that high likely that you find them on in asma, in nouns, but you might find an ism that does not include any of these. Why do we know them? Because they are going to guide us massively at the beginning till we build our vocabulary, our own vocabulary in the Quran. طيب, من شر الوسواس. الوسواس is starting with alif lam. It is an ism. الخناس, alif lam at the beginning, ism. الذي, starting with alif lam, it's an ism. الناس, we have said that already. الجنة, الجنة has alif lam at the beginning and ta marbuta at the end. It is an ism, and then الناس. So if we have a look at Surah Al-Falaq as well. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل أعوذ برب الفلق. طيب, the ba, again, we have said, so we have already said that this is an ism. Al-Falaq, alif lam at the beginning, so it's an ism. I wanted to show you this. ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب. طيب, the tanween here at the end, so this is an ism, and so on and so forth. Any tanween hasidin, that is an ism, and so on. So that is basically the first thing that I would like you to have a look at. And maybe one of the good things that you might can do is to open your Mus'haf and start finding more examples of all the points here that we have said. If of course number 5 and number 7 you will not be able to find your way through it, so just don't worry, just ignore it for now, but you might try to train your eyes trying to find examples for the rest of these features, and you are more than welcome to let me know if you have any questions about that. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you in future lessons, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.